Hi, this is Vicky with Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome to our new learning session entitled Let's Build It. Building is just one of those activities that we associate with young children. And the National Association for Education of Young Children believes that if you could just have one toy in your house, it should be a set of blocks. So, following up on that advice, we have created a small set of blocks for your children and have developed an entire session to building and tearing down. Let's face it, it's almost as much fun to knock down blocks or deconstruct blocks as we build them. And we're going to use a wrecking ball, just like the professionals. But don't you worry, we're going to challenge your child to build up all sorts of things from all sorts of materials, including paper bags, and blocks and boxes. And we hope that you can add some boxes and different size paper bags and cardboard boxes to provide your builder with different materials to hone their craft. We have four great books to inspire building. The first one, written by Nikki Ali, talks about the child imagines to first build with blocks. It's a lovely book, and we hope you like it. Our second book is entitled Shapes and Buildings, and it inspires us to look more carefully at real buildings around us and the shapes that are used to create it. And Jack the builder loves to build and count. Can you build what he builds? And our last book, Not a Box, is so funny. The adult says that they see a box, but the rabbit shows us really what it is. A really lovely book. I hope that your child can begin to imagine things other than boxes being boxes as a result. This is activity number one, and we call it Count It and Wreck It. And this activity, we're going to need the white color plastic pieces, materials that you'll find in your box to build our wrecking ball. And then we're going to need the balls and the strings. Let's start with the heavier ball and the pieces. Andy is actually going to show us how to assemble the wrecking ball. Let's watch him do that. First, we're going to put the pieces together. Next, we need to get the ball ready. We're actually going to thread the string through the rubber band and then actually tie a slip knot. This will actually allow us to adjust the length of the string so that when our blocks get bigger or smaller, we'll be able to put the ball just in the right location. He's actually tying a slip knot, which, as you can see, allows you to move that knot up and down and make the string longer or shorter. Next, we need to put that ball back on, or the rubber band back on the ball. And then we're going to thread it into our racking ball mechanism so that we can knock things down. To knock things down, all we need to do is actually pull that ball back and let it swing naturally to and from. And trust me, it'll be strong enough to be able to knock all the things over that we provided you. But if you want to adjust the string shorter, you just move the knot up the string and you'll get a shorter thing. Inside of that container of things, there's a count and wreck it cards that give your learner a certain number of blocks and a setup First, they'll want to count those blocks and mark the number on the count and wreck. And then to wreck them down, all they got to do is knock it over, which is great. And we can knock over all sorts of special things. Dixie cups. How fun was that, huh? And there are also some other materials in there, Dixie cups, little colored glasses. You can even find Unifix cubes or any other things that you guys can think about. I'm sure they'll have plenty of ideas. Well, we have another different idea for paper bags in this session. Last session, we hid things in the mag and then try to figure out what was inside. This time we're going to actually create something. We're going to make houses, and we provided the little bags, but you could use paper bags of all sizes. Inside one of the bags marked with number 2, you're going to find out a set of cutouts of shapes. You could use those for windows, doors, window boxes, whatever kind of fits into their vision of the house that they're building. I find decorating on the flat actually makes it easier to glue and draw, but you can certainly set it up and fill it with junk mail to get the real puffy effect of the house. Um, you can use a construction taper on top of it and staple it down if you like, or tie it down like we see in the first one, or glue it down, whatever you like. You might want to talk about what a house actually has around it. Maybe it needs a yard, or maybe it needs other houses on the street, or maybe you guys live close to a grocery store. How convenient is that? Or a toy store in your neighborhood. You can add the addresses, maybe a mailbox or two, and pretty soon it begins to look like your neighborhood. We would love to see what they create. And this is all for this week. I hope you guys enjoy constructing and deconstructing, and we'll talk to you next week.